By the time Jaime boarded the plane to Bangkok, the feeling still didn't have a clear name. It wasn't fear exactly, and it wasn't excitement either. It was something in between, tight and fluttering at the same time, like standing at the edge of something big without knowing whether you were ready to step forward or not. This was her first Division I SEASAC Touch Rugby tournament. She was 14, grade 8, a spot usually held for grade 11s and 12s, older girls with years of varsity experience, bigger bodies, louder voices. Jaime knew how unusual it was for her to be there. She knew people noticed. She also knew she hadn't been given the spot by accident. Still, knowing something logically didn't always quiet how it felt in her stomach. She wasn't alone, at least not entirely. Another grade 8 player, strong, fast, confident, had made the team too. That helped, but stepping into Division I still felt like stepping into a different world. The tournament followed the familiar SEASAC rhythm. 3 days, 3 pool games on Friday, quarterfinals and semifinals on Saturday, finals on Sunday. A structure that promised intensity and didn't allow much time to process anything that went wrong. Jamie's mom, Belinda, was there. That mattered more than Jaime let on. Knowing someone who understood her quiet moods and sudden tears was nearby made the whole thing feel less overwhelming. Nervous and excited didn't cancel each other out. They coexisted. What surprised Jaime most wasn't the speed of the game or the level of the competition. It was the way the older girls welcomed her. From the first warm-up, they made space. Not in an obvious, performative way, but in the small, steady ways that mattered. A senior checking in before drills, a quiet reminder about positioning, someone sitting next to her at meals without making it feel like charity. They didn't talk down to her. They didn't ignore her either. They trusted her. That trust settled something inside Jaime. She still felt the pressure. She always would. But now it was held by the team, not carried alone. When she made a good decision, there was a nod. When she missed something, there was a quick reset, not an eye roll. For a girl who lived in the space between doing fine and feeling wrong, that mattered more than any pep talk. Friday couldn't have gone better on paper. 3 pool games, 3 wins. The Dragons were sharp, organized, relentless. The ball moved cleanly. The defensive line stayed tight. Communication was constant. Jaime felt herself settling into the rhythm, not forcing anything, just doing her job. By the end of the day, the numbers were almost unreal. 3 wins, 23 tries scored, only 3 conceded. Jaime played her part. Nothing flashy, but solid. The kind of contribution that coaches loved and score sheets barely noticed. Until the last game. Late in the match, a whistle blew. Offside. Again. Jaime didn't even look up at first. Then she realized the referee was pointing at her. Sin bin. Her chest tightened instantly. The walk off the field felt longer than it should have. Her face burned. Tears came before she could stop them. She was furious. At herself, at the call, at the timing. She sent a message to the family group that she would later regret. She swore. She never swore. It felt like something had snapped. Later, when things had calmed, the truth came out. It wasn't really her sin bin. It was a team one. 2 warnings had already been given. Jaime had simply been the final player caught offside. But in the moment, logic didn't matter. What mattered was how it felt, like she'd let everyone down. Her teammates didn't treat it that way. When she came back on, there was a hand on her shoulder, a quiet, "You're good." No drama. That mattered too. Tanglin loomed in the background of everyone's thoughts. They were undefeated in the other pool. 35 tries scored, only 2 conceded. Efficient, clinical, ruthless. Everyone knew they'd likely meet on Sunday, but there was work to do first. Saturday morning brought the quarterfinal against NIST. The Dragons were ready. They won convincingly, 5 tries to 1. Tanglin, on the adjacent field, won theirs 11-0. The contrast was impossible to ignore. The semifinal against Dover, Dragon's sister school was a different story. Tight, physical, tense. Jaime felt every moment of it. The Dragons edged it 2 tries to 1. Relief washed through the team. Tanglin, meanwhile, dismantled their semi-final opponents 13-0. By Saturday night, the picture was clear. The Dragons were the underdogs, and everyone knew it. The final didn't feel like it belonged to one team or the other at first. The air was thick, the field seemed smaller, every mistake felt magnified. Tanglin struck first, 0-1. The Dragons responded, 1-1. Tanglin answered almost immediately, 1-2. Then, 1-3. Jaime felt the game speeding up around her, but something else was happening too. Something steadier. She wasn't panicking. She wasn't thinking. Adjusting, trusting the system. Before halftime, the Dragons pulled one back, 2-3. They weren't supposed to be here. Not like this. Tanglin scored again early in the second half, 2-4. But the Dragons didn't fold. They kept coming. Another try, 3-4. 5 minutes left. Jaime could feel her heart in her throat. Every run mattered. Every pass had to be clean. The Dragons attacked again and again, probing, pushing. But Tanglin found space late. Then again. Final score, 3-6. Silver medal. After the game, there were hugs, tears, quiet moments staring at the grass. The numbers told a deeper story. Tanglin had conceded only 2 tries across their first 5 games. The Dragons scored 3 against them in 1 match. They had pushed the best team in the tournament harder than anyone else. Jaime stood with her teammates, medal heavy around her neck. She didn't feel embarrassed. She didn't feel like she didn't belong. She felt tired, proud, still a little sad. Probably finished exactly where they should have. Tanglin were very good, but so were the Dragons. And Jaime, 14, grade 8, Division 1, had learned something important over that weekend in Bangkok. She could feel wrong and still be doing fine. She could make mistakes and still be trusted. She could belong even when it was hard. Physically, she had been ready. Now slowly, she was learning how to carry the rest.